Hello there. So today I'm going to be talking about forgiveness. And I'd like to start by sharing an experience that I had, a number of years ago. On that particular day, I slept and I had a dream. In that dream, I saw like a plant growing in my heart. Imagine seeing yourself, and then I could see my heart, and in my heart I could see a shoot, coming forth. And then I was scared, irritated. I can't even explain exactly what word I can use, but I was like, what is this? And I heard it being told me, that's a shoot of bitterness. And I was like, really? I don't have anyone, held up in my heart. But of course, after I woke up, I had to do a heart check and, go through my life and my relationships and all that. And then I found out that really there was someone that I thought I had forgiven, but that root of bitterness was still there. I had not forgiven that person, as a matter of fact. And as at that time, it was affecting my relationship with God. I was, dragging and all that, but I couldn't, pinpoint what the problem really was until at that point when it was revealed to me what the problem was with me. So it is true that, yes, forgiveness is a wonderful thing. But when you forgive, who are you doing it for? As a matter of fact, when you forgive, you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for yourself. When you forgive someone that has wronged you, you're not doing that person a favor. You're doing yourself a favor. You're doing yourself good by choosing to forgive anyone that has wronged you. So that's why I'm going to be talking about this today, forgiveness. And the truth of the matter is, many of us actually deal with having to let go. Many of us have issues with letting go completely. We have issues with forgiving people. It's not always easy. It depends on the degree of hurt that people have inflicted on us. The truth of the matter is, there will be some cases where it will be so hard for you to forgive such a person because the person has done you a whole lot of harm. However, it is very important that you forgive. As a matter of fact, it is compulsory that you forgive because you are doing yourself a whole lot world of good if you choose to forgive. So forgiveness. Why is it very important for you to forgive? Or how can we link it up to the fact that when you forgive, you are doing yourself good. You are doing yourself a favor by choosing to forgive. Now, when you forgive, you show gratitude to God because God forgives you all of your sins. That is the truth. If God was marking iniquity, who will stand? I'm very sure of myself that I won't be alive today if he was marking iniquity and if he chooses not to forgive my sins. But because God forgives our sins, if you think about it that way, that no matter what I do, the blood is thick enough to wash my sins away. All I have to do is ask, okay, God, I'm sorry for this that I've done. Please forgive me. And that's it. And he forgives us. He doesn't even count the sins of the past. He doesn't keep a record of our wrongs. Imagine how big the books of our wrongs would have been if God keeps, the record of what we do every day. Imagine how many times I wrong God every day. But then, because he is merciful, he keeps forgiving me. So if I choose to forgive others, or if I choose to forgive anyone that has, hurt me, it's, to me, showing that I show gratitude to God, that I am grateful to God, that, okay, I receive forgiveness freely. So let me give forgiveness freely too. So number one, show it. When you forgive someone else, you are showing that you are grateful to God. Now, when you forgive, you walk towards perfection. That's another thing. When you forgive, you walk towards perfection. You become more like God. Be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. God is perfect. Our Father is perfect. And he keeps forgiving us. So when you also keep forgiving others, when you find it easy to forgive others, when you see it as a compulsory thing for you to always forgive anyone that has wronged you, then you will see gradually you become more like God. Forgiveness is actually an act of love. When you give forgiveness, you are showing love to people around you. When you give forgiveness, you are showing love to other people. And that is what motivates God to forgive our sins, because he loves us. So that's the second thing. When you forgive, you are working towards perfection. Now, the third thing, when you forgive, you obey God's commands. As a matter of fact, forgiveness is a command from God to us. It's not an admonition. It's something that you must do. If not, he won't place a condition that if you don't forgive, you won't receive forgiveness. So it's very imperative for us. It's imperative, very, very important for us to know that if we love God, we will obey his commandments. And one of his commandments is for us to forgive anyone that has hurt us. Okay? So now, the next thing is that when you forgive, you continue to receive forgiveness. It's whatever you sow, you reap. When you sow forgiveness into the lives of others, because like I said, it's a gift to people. Forgiveness is a gift to that other person that has hurt you. So when you freely give forgiveness, you will freely and easily gain forgiveness. If you look through the Lord's Prayer, forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So it's like tit for tat. It's what you sow that you gain. It is what you plant that you reap. So it's just that way. If you want God to keep forgiving you, you must also learn to keep forgiving other people. Like that parable that Jesus told his disciples, okay, of that servant that owed his master a whole lot of money. Imagine someone, let's assume he was owing $10 million, back then. And because he came shouting, oh, please, I'm sorry, forgive me. And his master forgave him and wrote off his debts. But what did he do? He went out, met someone that was owing him one meager amount of money, let's say 10,000 naira. And then he seized that person. That same person, that other person was begging him, please forgive me, please forgive me. He refused. The same person that had just been forgiven, whose debts of that huge amount had just been written off, refused to forgive. And he seized that person and threw him in prison. Of course, the master was angry when he heard about it later. And the debt that was written off initially was brought back to book. And he had to pay every penny that he owed. So just put yourself in that shoe. We keep asking God to forgive us, but then you find it difficult to release someone from your heart. So it's very important for us to always forgive others if we really want God to keep forgiving us. Imagine if God does not forgive us. That means that you are on your way straight to hell. It's just that simple. So why should I, throw away my eternity in heaven because of what one person has done for me? Think about it. If you want to keep receiving forgiveness from God, you need to learn to always forgive everyone that has hurt you. Now, when you forgive others, you release your heart from the prison of bitterness. Now, that's one thing. And that is exactly what God was telling me in that dream that I told you about, when I started. When you harbor, hurt, when you keep people in your heart, when you lock people up in your heart, what happens is that you keep being bitter. You keep mounting it up. When I was talking to God about the meaning of that dream, kept telling me, you just like plants, what they do when you have weeds, for instance, in a farm, you have planted maybe your maize or something, and then weeds start growing. What happens? Those weeds, they begin to compete with what you have really planted there, and they sap all the nutrients from it, making the plants that you really want to grow not have enough nutrients to grow. Now, that is what bitterness does. When you refuse to forgive other people, bitterness, the root of bitterness, it gets stuck in your heart, and then bitterness begins to grow. It begins to grow, and then what happens is that it takes up a whole lot of space in your heart, that you don't even have the time to think about other things. You don't have the nourishment to nourish your heart for positive things, because bitterness is a negative thing, and it's something that can kill. I tell you, bitterness, it can kill you. So when you choose to forgive, you release your heart from you release from your heart bitterness, and everyone that has hurt you. Resentment goes away, bitterness goes away. You release yourself from being stuck in the past too. When you choose to forgive, it's like when someone hurts you, what has happened has happened. But when you keep referring to it, when you keep holding on to that issue, you keep taking yourself back. The thing is, what you need to do is to take this next step forward and say, okay, that's in the past. I don't know who it is that has hurt you so bad that you find it so difficult to let go, just like I did. Yes, I had my issues with letting go, with forgiving. I tell you, it's not an easy thing. Yes, my case might not be as difficult as yours, but then my case was such that I had a bodily harm that always reminded me, of what that person did to me. So it made it difficult for me to let go, because whenever I wanted to use that part of my body and it wasn't functioning properly, I remember, oh, imagine what happened. Oh, this person, if not for this person, that's why I'm suffering this pain. It's a pain that went on for years, and I felt like this person had hurt me so bad. Yes, so I had the physical manifestation of that hurt. It wasn't just an emotional hurt. It was an hurt. It was such that I could see it. I had an evidence that reminded me of it. But then, throughout that time that I refused to let go, what I kept doing was going back to the past, going back to 10 years ago, going back to 9 years ago. And then when that thought comes to my heart, I keep brooding about the past, instead of using my time to think about what I want to do with my life in the future, to think about the positive things I can do for other people, to think about the positive ways I want to improve my own self. I keep thinking about that person. I keep dedicating a whole lot of time and energy into thinking about that person, and it's not worth it. I've been there. I can tell you, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So the truth of the matter is, we must learn to forgive. From all that I've highlighted, it's all for your good. You're not doing anyone a whole lot good or any form of favor by choosing to forgive. It's for yourself. And the Bible says you should what? Love others. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. For if you love yourself, you will choose to forgive. If you really love yourself, you need to sit down and say, I love myself. I love myself. So I choose to forgive from today. So the ability to forgive is an act of strength. It's an act of strength. It's not an act of weakness like some people think. When you keep holding other people in your heart, you are weak. And when I say you're weak, you're not only weak emotionally. It affects the body too. It affects your body. Like I told you, I was having issues with God. That was a spiritual problem I was having. I'm going to share something else that made me to realize that unforgiveness is a deadly thing. Seriously, you're not doing yourself any good by choosing to not forgive. Now, another thing is that when you forgive, you cease being a victim and regain control. When you hold on to unforgiveness, when you hold on to the hurts that people have done to you, when you hold on to the things that people have done to you, what you are doing is giving them the power over your life. You give them control. You take the remote control of your life and give it to their hands. Give it to them. You put it in their hands, and then whenever they flash before you, what happens is that your head goes haywire. So when you choose to forgive, you regain control. You're in control. The thing is, nothing goes on with you or in your mind or with your life except you give people the chance, or except you give people the authority to do that. And that is what unforgiveness does. When you choose not to forgive, you are giving the power to the other person, whether consciously or unconsciously. That person might not even know, but that is what you are doing. You are relinquishing your power, the control you have over yourself, by choosing not to forgive. Now, another thing is that when you forgive, you can expend that time on thinking about positive things. I told you, that's what unforgiveness does. Unforgiveness, it occupies space, and it keeps growing in form of bitterness and resentment. The space that you're supposed to use to grow positive things, to grow your future, to grow and cultivate goodness into your life, to grow your future, to think and conceptualize wonderful things that you want to achieve in life. That time, you'll be using it to think about what that person did, how bad that person is, how terrible that person is, how, if this person did not do this to me, how my life would have been different. Instead of you to sit down and say, okay, my life can be different from this point forward, so let me do something about my life. And then you design, you put a blueprint alongside God, and you ask him to help you draw that path to move forward and stop staying on one point, just thinking about negative thoughts. Think about wonderful things. Bitterness is not the right thing to think about. Resentment, it's not the right thing to fill your heart with. It's going to kill your heart. Yes, when you forgive, you let God fight for you. That's another very important thing. When you forgive, you let God fight for you. God says, vengeance is mine. Vengeance is mine. He wants to fight for you. But whenever you hold on that person, okay, when you hold on to that person's hurt, to that person's offense, what you are doing is you're trying to fight for yourself. Unconsciously, in your heart, you're trying to, most times, when you do not forgive, you start thinking about negative things you can do to that person, or you be happy when evil things befall that person. So when you choose to forgive, what happens is that you are letting God. You are telling God, God, vengeance is yours. This person has really hurt me. I leave this person to your hands. Fight for me. And I tell you, even though sometimes it looks like God is slow, sometimes it looks like, is God not going to do anything about this? The truth of the matter is, God is the greatest avenger. He knows how to avenge you. He knows how to avenge anyone that stands by him. So why not leave God? You can never deal with someone as well as God will do. So why not just leave that person to God? Now, when you choose to forgive, it is not saying that that person has not wronged you. It is not cancelling the fact that that person is wrong, or what that person did is bad or was bad. It's just releasing you from holding on to that hurt. Now, finally, when you forgive, you will have lesser health problems. Really, seriously, when you forgive, you will have lesser health problems. It's been proven by science that unforgiveness, which is the root cause of resentment and bitterness, is a major cause of so many problems, psychological problems, heart problems. Okay? Yes, so when you choose to forgive, you are releasing yourself to better health, to enjoying, wonderful life, to having a better health. When you are bitter, when you are resentful, when you harbor unforgiveness, I've been there. One of the things that happen to you, headaches. You keep having incessant headaches over and over and over. I'm going to share something else, another experience that I had. Yes, so forgiveness. it's a gift to yourself. Just know that all these things that I've highlighted, you will see at the center of it all is you. So why would you hate yourself so much that you choose not to forgive others? Because you are doing yourself harm if you choose not to forgive. So it's a gift to yourself, and it is in your best interest to forgive those who wrong you. It's in your best interest. I beg you in the name of the Lord. I've been there. I've been on both sides, choosing to forgive and holding on to, the offense or the wrong that the other person had done to me. And I know which one is better. Choosing to forgive is better. Is the way to go. Is the way of life. Is the way to, rest, to peace, to joy, to tranquility. So, forgiveness. I want you to think right now, who is it that has hurt you and you have been holding on to that person? It's time for you to forgive that person. Yes, maybe you are saying in your heart, you don't even understand how much this person hurt me. You don't get it. Yes, well, I might not get the depth of the earth. I might not understand the depth of it, but the truth of the matter is, no matter how deep the earth is, you just have to forgive, because you're doing it for yourself. You need to let go and let God. You need to take back the power from that person. You need to take back control of your life. You need to cease allowing other people to control your life and to control your emotions. So even when you think the offender does not deserve it, do it for yourself. No matter what, just do it for yourself. That's what I tell myself. I'm doing it for me. Yes, isn't that what God says? I should love myself. Yes, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So if I love myself, I'll be able to love others. So first of all, if I know that when I forgive, I am doing it for myself, then it will be easy to say, okay, yes, the next step, love my neighbor. And then, okay, let me give him forgiveness. Let me do it, okay, as an act of love. But first of all, do it for yourself. Choose to do it for yourself. So, like I said, the second thing I said I was going to share is the fact, it's an experience that I had. There was a particular day some years back too. I slept and I dreamt. Okay, I hope you won't say I'm Josephine, always dreaming. Okay, so I had a dream, and in that dream I heard a word that I had never heard before in my life. It was in my dream that I heard that word for the first time, and that word is repression. Repression. Okay, so what happened? Before that time, I was having issues with headaches. I was having incessant headaches. I was having headaches over and over and over and over and over. I'd been to the doctor, I was given painkillers, and I was almost becoming a drug addict, using painkillers over and over, but the headache would just not go. Okay, when I use the painkiller, the headache will go, and then before I say jack, the headaches were back. Okay, so on this particular day, I was praying to, I had been praying to God too, in combination with the drugs, but the headaches were just there. So there was this particular day I slept, and then I had that dream. And in that dream, it was as if I was in front of a doctor, and the doctor, was, oh, what are the things, what did you say is wrong with you, this, that, we're chatting. And then the next thing he said was, I know what's wrong with you. It's repression. And then I was asking myself, repression? 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 That was what I was doing, repression. And then I woke up from my sleep. Okay, so when I woke up, I was like, repression? As in, did I hear correctly? Was it depression I heard, or repression? Because I had heard about depression before, but repression, no. So I just prayed briefly, and then I had to go to the encyclopedia, and I was checking what's repression, and then I found out what repression was. I tell you, that was the beginning of my deliverance. Now, why I'm sharing this is the fact that some of us actually think that we are forgiving other people, whereas what we are doing is that we have repressed thoughts. We have hidden those thoughts. We have hidden the unforgiveness, at the back of our minds. And then when they ask you, have you forgiven this person? You say, yes, I have forgiven the person. Whereas you did not deal with the issue. You did not forgive that person. You just eat it at the back of your mind. And that was what God was trying to tell me on that particular day. Repression is an unconscious hiding of uncomfortable thoughts. Okay, so this person has hurt me. And then I just feel, okay, I should forgive this person, but I did not let go. So instead of allowing God help me to forgive that person, instead of working on it, instead of making, putting in conscious effort to making sure that, yes, I deal with this issue, I sweep it under the carpet in form of repression. And that was affecting me. You see why I said that unforgiveness, it causes health problems. And that was what I suffered for a very long time. So repression, that's what some of us actually do. We do not forgive. We repress the thoughts. We repress the unforgiveness. We repress the hurt and then keep them at the back of our minds. Now, what happens is that repressive thoughts never die. They never disappear. That's what we are hoping to do. To see to it that, okay, it will just disappear one day. But it does not. And what happens is the fact that when you have repressive thoughts, they will come back in form of, things that you just drops from your mouth. Slip of tongue. You say, oh, it was just a slip of tongue. Okay. Sometimes they come back in form of dreams. And then you might start dreaming about that person chasing you in your sleep. Okay. Now, those are repressive thoughts. When repressive thoughts, when they come back, the hurt, that person did to you will come back in full force. Okay, and then you start being like, oh, this person, I hate this person. You might not say it that way, but you are just always hurt whenever it comes back. Now, that is what many of us do. We refuse to forgive in the real sense of it. We just hide it away. We just push it away. Now, that's not the way to go. That's not the solution to the problem. You are just hiding it and mounting it up, and then one day you're going to burst open when the jar is full. So what is the way forward? The way forward is forgiveness. And so how do you forgive and be sure that you are forgiving? Like I said, many of us, we just hide the thoughts away. So how do I deal with the hurtful thoughts? Maybe that person is someone that you keep saying, the person keeps hurting you. So it is very difficult for you to keep forgiving. That's what happened with the person that hurt me in the first experience that I shared with you, the first dream, okay, about the bitterness growing in my heart. I didn't have a choice. It wasn't someone I could run away from. It was someone I would see every day of my life. So it was just like, as I'm trying to forgive that person keeps hurting me. So because I did not deal with it, because I did not have this much knowledge, because I did not understand just how important this forgiveness issue is, I just let it be. And then just letting it be started mounting up as bitterness and resentment in my heart. So how do we forgive? I've identified a few things that has helped me in forgiving. The first thing you need to do is to decide to forgive. It's a decision you have to make. You have to decide that, okay, I choose to forgive this person. Yes, this person has hurt me bad. This person has wronged me. As in, this person, he doesn't deserve it. But I choose to forgive. That's the first step. You have to choose to forgive the person. You have to come to terms, with what has happened. Bring it to the table. Don't hide it away. Deal with it. Deal with it. You have to control it. You have to deal with that issue. You have to bring it. Oh, if you have to cry, cry. Oh, this person hurt me bad. I do it. Yes, this person has hurt me badly. This person has really hurt me. This person has wronged me. This person has hit me where it, matters most. Yes, do it. Express it. Express it. Be expressive, and then, choose to forgive. After you have come to terms with what the person has done to you, make a decision, a conscious decision to forgive that person. You have to choose to let it go. You have to choose to face it head on and then say to yourself, okay, this person has held me for too long. This person has held me down for too long. This earth, I have harbored it for too long. It's time for me to let go. I hope you're saying that right now. After you have thought about that person that has wronged you, it's time. It's time. It's time for you to let go. And you have to choose from the depths of you, having considered all the advantages, how important forgiveness is to you. It's about time you choose to forgive that person. So that's the first step towards it. Choose to forgive. Tell yourself, I am forgiving this person right about now. It's time for me to let go. Yes, it's time for me to let go. Now, the second thing is that you need to come to terms with the fact that, okay, I am choosing to forgive this person, but it doesn't cancel the bad that this person has done. It is not justifying what the other person had done. No, it's not. That's not what forgiveness is doing. It's not justifying his wrong. Yes, everyone that does wrong will reap whatever he has sown. So if you think about it that way, it's not as if once I have chosen to forgive, I am, it's canceling the effect or the fact that this person has done wrong. It's not justifying that person. Then it will be easier for you to know that, okay, this person has done wrong. If he repents, okay, yes, he will receive mercy. But if he chooses not to repent, well, it doesn't cancel it. He will still reap whatever he has sown. So if you think about it from that angle, from that perspective, that you forgiving is not writing off the wrong or canceling the fact that this person has done wrong. Now, having done that, you need to take responsibility for your own actions that led to the offense. Many times we take offense and then choose not to forgive because we just cast all the offense on the other person without thinking about it. Okay, let me sit down. What part did I have to play, or what role did I have in this issue on ground? What have I done? Okay, you need to carry out an examination and then pick whichever part of it is the wrong that you did. Okay, whatever it is that you had done. Peradventure, you have not done anything good. Peradventure, you are 100% right. But many times, it takes it takes two people to make things go wrong. Many times, but not all the time. So, sit down and think about it. Okay, what are the things that I have done? What part did I have to play? What role did I have to play in this issue on ground? Now, the next thing, which is the most important thing, is that you should ask God to help you forgive. Now, this is the most important thing for me, and it has helped me. I believe this is, after I had these experiences that I had, it had become easier for me, such that they actually think at home that when anyone wrongs me, I just forgive the person. Yes, no matter how hard it is. Why? It's God that makes it easier for me. It's not by power. It's not by might. It's not easy. I tell you, it's not always easy to let go. Yes, it's a good thing to choose to forgive. But if the hurt is so deep, if the wound is so deep, especially if it's something that you keep seeing the fruits of the hurt, it gets even more difficult. And that's why you need to ask for God's grace, for God's help to forgive. And what I do when I'm really hurt? I start weeping, and then I start telling God, okay, God, Father, I have to forgive this person, but it's not easy. I tell it as it is. It's not easy. This person has hurt me, but I'm not leaving this place until, all the toxins get out of my system. And then I keep asking, oh God, please help me, help me, help me, help me, Lord, help me. I keep crying. It might take hours, and then I'll go and come back and say, God, please help me. Help me get rid of this bitterness. Help me get rid of this resentment. I let this person go. I let it all go. I let it all be. It's time to forgive and be like you, my Father. I want to be like you, my Father. I want to just let this person go. I'm writing off this debt. And then I keep saying it. I forgive you, so person. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. From the depths of me, I forgive you. I let you go. I release you. I forgive you. Oh, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. You know, I keep saying it. I keep saying it. And then the more I say it to myself, the more my spirit believes it. That yes, I have chosen to forgive this person. So that is it. Forgiveness is a gift to you. It's a gift to yourself. When you choose to forgive others, you're doing yourself a favor. So if you always find it difficult to forgive others, I want you to check yourself. If you always find it difficult to forgive other people, you know there are some people like that. If you offend them, it's that they go silent on you. They go berserk, as in get angry, and then you keep begging them, and then they start keeping malice and all that and all that. There are people like that with such kind of temperament. They find it very difficult to forgive. You need to check yourself. You need the Spirit of God to work on your spirit, to work on your life. Because if you choose not to forgive others, it's just a simple equation. Like I said, if you forgive, you receive forgiveness. So if you refuse to forgive others, it means that you have refused to embrace the forgiveness that God has given unto you. That's the simple explanation for it. Anytime you choose not to forgive other people, you're just saying, okay, I have not embraced totally the forgiveness, the free gift of forgiveness that God has made available for me. So if you find it difficult, if you think you're one of such persons that once anybody hurts you a little bit, you hold it in, you hold it in, you hold it in, and you find it very difficult to let go, ask God to help you. Tell God to help you. Tell God to, touch your heart, to check your heart, and break your heart into pieces. Circumcise your heart, break that stony heart out of your system, and give you a heart of flesh. Because when you have a heart of flesh, a regenerated heart will want to love God. And like I said, if you want to love God, you want to obey His commandments, and forgiving is a command. Okay? A regenerated heart will love others, and when you love others, you will give them forgiveness freely. A regenerated heart will be heavenly conscious, and if you're heavenly conscious, like I said, you would forgive, because you know that if you refuse to forgive, there's no room for you in heaven. Okay? So all these things summed up, when you think about it, you know from all that I have said today that unforgiveness is not worth it. It's not good for your spirit. Because when you harbor unforgiveness, your prayers won't be answered. When you harbor unforgiveness, God will not forgive you. When you harbor unforgiveness, you won't have that, free flow, relationship with God. When you harbor unforgiveness, it will affect you mentally. It will affect your emotions. You start seeing yourself, when the person greets you, the person might not even know that he has hurt you. But because you have repressed it, you have kept it somewhere in your heart. Whenever that person, the person will just be wondering, what's wrong with this person? I just greeted her, or I just, gave her a shout out, or I just greeted her, or I just asked her for something, and she just flared up. To affect your relationships, to affect your emotions, it will affect you psychologically. And that's what repression does. Yeah, it brings about psychological problems, resentment, bitterness. It affects your heart. You are prone to hypertension, you are prone to heart problems, you are prone to sleeplessness. Yes, because you keep thinking about it. Headaches, all these things. So if you're spiritually inclined, if your heart is regenerated, you will love God, and you will find it easy to forgive. Peradventure, you have always found it difficult to forgive other people. I want you to ask God. I join my faith with yours to help you become a better person. I didn't always find it easy to forgive people. And that's why I don't like fighting people and all that. I just let it go. Okay, I just let it go. Yes, this person is acting in, maybe the person does not understand. So I make a lot of excuses for people. Maybe this person does not understand what, is going on. And even if I have tried to talk it out with the person, and the person just, keeps his stand, and I find out that this person knows, I have expressed it to you that what you're doing is wrong, but you still do not see it wrong. Okay, I leave it be, and then take my freedom, take my, my liberty, and then keep going forward. And when you forgive others, you are at peace. You are at peace with God, and you are at peace with yourself, and then you are at peace with other people. Even when other people, they keep, looking at you and say, hey, what's wrong with that? This. You don't care. Yes, because you are at peace with yourself. You are at peace with God. And that's what matters most in life. When you're at peace with God. And then your life is going to be a beautiful one. Okay? Thank you for listening today. Thank you for watching. Forgiveness. It's a special gift, I tell you, to yourself. So whoever it is that you're holding on to, that you have been holding on to, maybe for years, for weeks, for months, this is a charge to you. It was placed on my heart strongly to share this with you. Forgive. I'm not telling you to forget. That's what many of us try to do. We try to forget it, and then it leads to repression. Okay? I'm telling you to forgive that person. Yes, the fruits of that earth might be there. That person might not deserve it, but you deserve your freedom. You deserve freedom. You deserve peace with God and peace in your heart with yourself. And you deserve to have a wonderful future. You deserve to, be able to use your time on more productive things than using your time to ruminate and brood over evil. In case you don't know me, I'm Omosebi Mary Omolola. Yes, and I believe God to help you. Whatever way you are trusting God to help you deal with unforgiveness. Maybe already you're having someone that you do not, you're finding it difficult to forgive that person. Or even this might help you in the future. Yes, just know that forgiveness is a gift to yourself. It's a gift to yourself. In case you have questions, or you need counseling, or you just want to contact me, you can send an email to thebeautifulbranch@gmail.com. You can send me an inbox message on Facebook. You can send a message to my Facebook page, Omosebi Mary Omolola, PhD. If you have been blessed by this video, please share it with your friends. I trust God to help you, as I am trusting Him to help me live a life of freedom in God through forgiveness at all times. Be blessed.